Good morning, everyone. My name is Karla, and you have reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts that I'm working on and a little bit of life thrown in. Today is my 47th FlossTube video. It is Sunday, the 31st of May, last day of May, starting June tomorrow. I want to say welcome. If this is the first time that you have stopped by my channel, then I'm so glad to have you here, and I hope that you enjoy what I have to share and hit like and subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, then thank you so much for being here with me. I enjoy spending this time with you every week so much. So, this, as I said, is the last week of May, and I was participating in what I was calling a Haid Mania. I was working on my Haid full coverage pieces exclusively, but this past week that kind of all fell apart. It was kind of a stressful week for me, and when I got home from work each night, I didn't feel like sitting at my desk and working on those projects. Monday was a holiday, and I spent it basically relaxing, and there was actually a Zoom call Monday night that I missed because I just spaced on the fact that it was even Monday, so I didn't even get to participate in that. And then Tuesday, my mom was taken to the hospital. And before anybody gets upset or anything, she is back home now. So she's okay, but it was still, a very kind of stressful week just because not knowing exactly what was going on. And my mom has had chronic bladder infections for the last, I want to say 10 years. And often they can be treated where she lives, and that's not a problem, but occasionally they get really bad. And one time it was super bad, and actually she went into sepsis, and that was extremely dangerous. And now occasionally when she gets them, they just hit her in a way that alters. Apparently with bladder infections, they can affect your mental balance, I guess would be the right word to say. But she had a sinus infection last week, and because of where she lives, I told you that they've been extremely cautious with their elderly residents, and anybody who gets any kind of flu type symptom, any sore throat or congestion in the any respiratory problem, I guess, they're putting them in kind of in isolation. And that happened last week, and she was fine for a couple days. I mean, she had a sinus infection, she was having, headaches from that, and then she also has this other neck issue that was causing headaches. But on Tuesday morning, she was just, I guess the word they use is altered. She was kind of confused and lethargic and completely not herself. My mom is usually extremely bubbly, I mean, except for when she has a headache, obviously. But she's a bubbly, friendly, outgoing person, and she was just confused, and they were concerned. So they called her doctor, and he did ask her to be sent to the hospital so they could do tests. So she was sent to the hospital on Tuesday, and they did a bunch of tests, and everything was coming up pretty normal, except she had another bladder infection, and she was having a slightly elevated BNP, which has something to do with heart function. So they put her on the unit where they can monitor heart issues and stuff. She has a slight heart murmur that she's had her whole life. So that is something that they, keep an eye on. Anyway, so she was at the hospital until yesterday. I talked to her several times. My brother talked to her. She had her phone with her, which is good because it's kind of hard to get through to the hospital. What? I'm doing my video. Oh, this is unusual, you guys. This is Bagheera. You don't usually get to see him because usually while I'm doing videos, he just completely ignores me and goes to sleep. He must want treats or something this morning. Okay, all right. Thank you for interrupting. while I'm talking to you guys, I think I will give him a little treat stick, and then he will be quiet. So what was I saying? Okay, so yeah, so Mom went to the hospital. We were able to communicate with her. They monitored her for a couple days, and apparently, you know, she was healthy enough to be sent back. You know, I don't think they want to keep people in the hospital unnecessarily now, just because of COVID. When I did talk to the nurse on Tuesday, when she was still kind of in, I mean, obviously you kind of hang out in the emergency room until they get a bed for you. And I talked to the nurse there, and she said, I asked her what the COVID policies or procedures were at the hospital, and she said that my mom would not really be in contact with anybody, and that all the staff and the patients are all wearing masks. And so anyway, her doctor did order that when she went back that she be in isolation for a month instead of, like, they would put her in isolation for 2 weeks anyway, just because anybody coming in from the outside, they're putting in isolation. But I think her doctor wants her to be there just a little bit longer, just to facilitate her healing, and that she gets, you know, a lot of rest during that time. And yeah, so she got back to her, oh, excuse me. She got back to her, to the nursing home yesterday, and she's not in her regular room. She is in isolation, but I did talk to her briefly, and she's, you know, of course, exhausted because, you know, going to the hospital is tiring. It's like, if you're not sick when you get there, you feel awful when you come out, kind of thing. But she was, you know, she was glad to be back, even though she's not in her regular space with all of her stuff. But she got back on watching Turner Classic Movies. I think she was watching The Red Shoes yesterday, so she was enjoying that ballet thing. So she's okay. It was just kind of, whenever my mom's in the hospital, it's just kind of a stressful time for me. You know, I don't feel like she's safe. Normally, I feel like she's safe and I don't have to worry about her. But when she's in the hospital, things are a little bit up in the air. So that did affect my stitching a bit. I just, when I get stressed like that, I get exhausted and less energy. So, yeah, so I didn't work on my full coverages because I just didn't want to sit at the table and work on them. Other than that, it was a pretty uneventful week. I had my Zoom call on Friday, as I usually do with my friends, both near and far. It was totally fun. I had some wine. I was really looking forward to having wine. My corkscrew broke as I was trying to open the bottle, and I ended up with the screw part like stuck in the cork, and then the mechanism that used to pull it out broke off. But I was resourceful. I got a crescent wrench. Is it that the kind that you can tighten? Yeah, so I put that on the thing, and I forced that bottle of wine open because I was going to have a glass of wine that night. And I did, and it was delicious. And it was kind of nice to have a relaxing bottle. I didn't have the whole bottle. I have a relaxing glass of wine Friday night. I'm not a huge drinker. You know, I dabble a little bit, but yeah, it was nice. I haven't actually opened a bottle of wine since I've been doing this Zoom calls, and opening it Friday was nice to have that glass, and it did help me relax at night, although I didn't sleep very well. I knew she was coming home Saturday, so I don't know. But anyway, so it was a pretty normal week. I mean, regular work stuff and everything, but I did have that stress from my mom. So, okay, let's see. Let's get into the stuff. Because, again, of not stitching a ton, I don't have a ton of stuff to show you, but I did get a few things in the mail that I am looking forward to sharing with you. And let's start with I have a FFO. I showed you guys this, not last week, I think, but the week before that I finished June, and I did manage to FFO it. So it is ready to go up on my wall tomorrow. And now I only have July, August, and September. So I'm almost done with this project, and then I'll be moving on to a different seasonal project, which I'm looking forward to. I've been really like drawn to all of these seasonal type projects lately, and So there's like a bunch that I want to do. So I didn't have any new starts this week. I didn't have any finishes other than the fully finished thing. Yeah, and no mania. Like, again, I was just not as prolific with my stitching as I normally am. I did work a little bit on this counted canvas project, Lime by Color Delights, or actually Needle Delights is the company, Color Delights is the line of all these little sort of monotone texture driven patterns. So this is where I am on it. Oh, here. There we go. So a couple of these were the called for. The Caron watercolors and Water Lily are the called for. Lime Ricky and Budding Leaf, I think, is the silk. This is a Rainbow Gallery, the sparkly one. But I couldn't get the exact called for. The exact called for was like a regular one, and I ordered from 123 Stitch and they only had the petite, so I'm doubling it up. And then this really shiny one, that's a substitution. I'm using a DMC satin. It's not super fun to work with. It's very slippy, but it looks really pretty. So I think it's coming along pretty nicely. This is basically one of those patterns where there's a quarter of the pattern, or a quarter of it is the pattern. So this is the whole pattern. And if you notice, it's there with this in the corner, and then it's opposite on the opposite corner. But then this is just the same pattern flipped, these two sides, which is kind of interesting. So it's like, you know, one pattern and then you move it around the piece to get your work. So I am, as I've said numerous times, thoroughly enjoying working on the counted canvas. It's not going to replace counted cross stitch, I mean, because I enjoy both so much, but I definitely am enjoying it. I'm getting supplies to do more, and having my in my mind, you know, just some ideas to like branch out and, you know, maybe make one myself. Just, I have a book of needlepoint like patterns, like different stitch kind of patterns that you could do. So, you know, I think that there is a lot of possibility there. I did get some work in on Year of Celebrations July, the Liberty. So, you know, it says July up here, and then there's this rocket, there's another rocket, and then, you know, the border stuff. But this went really quick. I did this in one evening. Actually, I was working on this while I was on my phone call, my Zoom call. So I'm going to have no problem getting that done in time to put it up next month. And hopefully maybe in June I can get August done as well and really get a jump on that. Okay, and then the last whip that I worked on this week, I'm telling you, I didn't do that much, but this one I am getting so close, you guys. I really think that possibly next week I will be showing you a finish. Is the Gathering Honey by the Blue Flower. And I think I am down to the final flower, and then just the couple bees, excuse me, that go along with it. Oops. That was a good attempt. Okay, so yeah. So I got all of the stem work and stuff done on the final flower, and, or yeah, on this clump, and then I just have the final flower to do. And then there's a bee down here, and then there's a bee on the flower. And then I am done, you guys. So I am really excited to see the culmination of this one. Excuse me. I have thoroughly enjoyed this project. It is the first time that I've really worked on hardanger on 22 count. So this is like, except for the little 28 count 1/1 little ornament thingy that I did that I have on my scissors now, this is the smallest count fabric that I've worked on. And I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed using just the one strand. And I think it's just beautiful. I'm really excited to finish that final flower, get this like ironed and you know, steam out the wrinkles and get it nice and ironed and put it in the frame. And I'm just really excited to show it to you guys too. This project means a lot to me, the meaning behind why I chose this project, which I have explained before in my videos, but just a quick recap. I started stitching about maybe a year and a half ago now. I started like February, March of 2019. I did have some experience with stitching before, with embroidery and needlepoint. I'd never done counter cross stitch. And when I first started stitching, of course, you have this whole world of patterns and everything. And there's a lot of bee patterns, and I didn't touch any of those because I had a history with my ex-husband. He and I had, well, he was a beekeeper, so we did some beekeeping for a couple seasons. It was one of his whims, you know, and I've learned since that this guy who had all these great ideas doesn't always follow through, whatever. But the bees were a trigger for me, and it was kind of like sometimes the good memories or the hard memories, and it was that kind of situation. And so I was not, I was turning away from any pattern that had anything to do with bees or beekeeping until I saw that one, the blue flower one. And for whatever reason, that totally drew me in, and I was able to break through kind of a negative thing and bring something positive back into my life. So that's why I chose that pattern, and why I specifically wanted to do it in February for a sal and call it Be My Own Valentine, because again, it's a growth thing. So anyway, so that's why that pattern means so much to me, and I'm excited to get so close to finishing. And you know, it's also a lot of, you know, it's a lot of first, as I said, the first hardanger I worked on, the smallest count fabric that I've really done a project on, and I dyed the fabric myself, and I think it turned out really well. So so yeah, that pattern just has a lot of special connotations to me. So I don't know, next week maybe, you guys, maybe there'll be a finish for me to show you. And I will be passing the stash on this pattern. It's a beautiful pattern, and when I do that, if the winner would like me to dye a piece of fabric similar to what I have, I will also be happy to do that for whoever gets it. So that's my whips for this week, you guys. I mean, I know it's not very much, it's just working on those 3 projects, but sometimes that's how it is. Okay, so I do have, excuse me, some stuff to show you that I got, that I purchased, and also some Stitchy Kindness that I received this week. So I got some more monocanvas, which is again what I'm using for the counting canvas projects. I got, you know, 18 count monocanvas from 123 Stitch. Being kind of, I don't want to say I'm not cheap, but trying to be frugal about it. I got the ones that were the least expensive, which means I didn't get white, because the white is the most expensive, and I kind of feel like it doesn't matter because you're doing full coverage on the mono canvas, and you know, as long as it's, canvas may show through a little bit on some of the stitches, but you know, as long as you're not picking something that's completely off base, I don't think it matters. So I got a green and I got a brown because they were a couple dollars cheaper than the white, but I think that they'll be fine for what I have in mind to do. And then what else? And so since I was, you know, ordering from 123 Stitch, things can't go alone and you're already paying a set shipping fee. So I started looking around, and these were on sale the week that I happened to be looking. They're all Riolas, and I do enjoy the Riolas kits. So I thought I would go ahead and get these. It's another another seasonal set of these cats, I guess. So this is, I think that one's summer. Let me see. I don't know which one's spring, which one's summer. Maybe this is spring. So, spring. They're called Cats in the City. Spring. Summer. Oops. Autumn. And winter. So I think I will enjoy doing this set. I mean, I'm at the point now, I think I have 4 or 5 seasonal sets. A lot of them have cats in them. Obviously, I enjoy those. So speaking of seasonal sets, this was an eBay find that I was really excited about. And once I got it and saw exactly how nice it was, now I want because this is spring, I want the summer, fall, and winter patterns. They are out of print. I did find them on eBay, so I may purchase them next week. But this one was nice because it actually came with all of the threads and embellishments. Once I determined that the embellishments were still available, then I, made the decision to look for the other patterns. But this is from Nancy's Needles. I've been just saying Nancy's Needles. The company is actually called From Nancy's Needles. And this is a seasonal garden series. So this is spring. And these are small little projects. I mean, I think they turn out to be maybe 4 by 5 when they're done. But it came with all of the flosses. And this whole thing was $15. So you just can't beat that, especially because it came with 3 of these Mill Hill glass treasures. And this is what they all have, these little things, and I was like, well, if you can't get these, then forget it. But I looked, and these are still available, these little Mill Hill things. So there's a little bird. I don't know if you're even going to be able to see that. And it's kind of like twisted in there. There's a little bird. There's a package with these 2 little leaves. And there's a little bunny. Can you see? So there's little teeny glass buttons. But they're not really buttons. Glass charms, I guess, to add. So it came with those 3. It came with the Encore, the Rainbow Gallery Encore. So pretty. This is a stranded, it's a 4-strand cotton. And then it came with all of the called for DMC and Anchor. There's a couple wildflowers, which is another cron. It's their pearl cotton. So anyway, so I got the whole kit on this, and then, as I said, I'm going to try and get the other patterns. I'm not going to be able to get as good a deal as I got on this, but, I think that would be worth it for me if I can find the other 3 seasons, because it's another cute series. Okay. Then this pattern that I got, this is another one of those weird things that happen. I ordered this again at the beginning of April, and I thought it was lost. you know, it was supposed to take a week, and I waited 6 weeks and requested a refund and got a refund, and then it showed up. So this is a Needle Delights, one of the color play things, and this one's called Violet. So I have, you know, I wrote a message to the seller on eBay, and I said, you know, I was refunded, but it showed up. So can you invoice me so I can pay you? I haven't heard back. I was debating about whether showing this on my video, and then I thought, you know, I'm being honest. I'm contacting the seller. I'm willing to pay for it. It's kind of the ball's in their court now because I can't just, you know, send money. I have to have an invoice to pay. So I did inform them, and you know, hopefully they'll invoice me again, because I certainly don't want to get anything that I didn't pay for. I don't want to, you know, rip anybody off. I think I was justified in asking for a refund after 6 weeks of not receiving something, even in the time of COVID, because, you know, I've purchased it from eBay the whole time, and you know, yes, things are delayed, but they're not delayed like that. You know, they're maybe take a few extra days at the post office. This, and then the threads that I showed you last week, they were lost in the mail. I mean, yes, they did show up, but it shouldn't take 6 weeks or 7 weeks to get across the U.S. It's not even all the way across the U.S. It's a couple states over. So, yeah, so something funky was happening at the post office with these. And, yeah, you know, unfortunately, I wish they had come a week before I finally gave up the ghost and decided to ask for the refund. But, you know, I think I was justified in asking for it. But I'm also 100% willing to pay, you know, what I owe, and if they invoice me. So, the last thing that I got was some Stitchy Kindness from Robin. She has a FlossTube channel, Birdseye Stitches. Check her out. She has some really cute projects. But I had sent her, if you watch both of us, you know I had sent her some yellow fabric because she was watching my videos, and I had mentioned about the gathering honey, and that when I gave away the pattern, as I said today, I had said previously that I would be willing to, you know, dye a piece of fabric. And she just loved that fabric. She loves yellow. And so she contacted me. She's like, please, can I have a piece of fabric? You know, I'll pay you, invoice me. And I'm just, like, I'm not in a place right now where I'm going to sell stuff like that to people. I mean, when I get my Etsy shop open, if I have some fabric that I think people would want, then I'll sell it as, you know, one-of-a-kind pieces. But at this point, I'm not going to, like, charge people when I make something, you know, with my little experiments in dyeing. So I told her I would be happy, and I sent her actually 3 pieces of fabric because she said she would like 16 count Aida, and that was like the one thing I didn't have. So I did a piece of 14, a piece of 18, and a piece of linen for her, and I sent them. And I believe she's keeping the linen for herself, and then she did a giveaway because she hit 500 subscribers. She did a giveaway of one of the pieces of Aida. I don't know which one the person was going to choose, the 18 or the 14. And then the one that was left over, I don't know if she's going to use it or she's going to give it for another giveaway at some point. I don't know. But anyway, she sent me a thank you gift, which of course 100% not necessary, but she did. And she sent me a cute little card. And I thought it was so funny because she sent the card and then she put the envelope. She's like, I did not lick this. Like, I was so worried. And then she sent me a Silken Colors skein of this yellowy green, which is so pretty. And I'm totally into, like, the silks now, right? Because I'm using them on my counting canvas stuff. And then she sent me this pattern, which I love. In fact, I love it so much, I already had it. So guess what? Somebody's going to get this. Yeah, so this is the Satsuma Street Halloween Cat. Adorable pattern. And I thank you so much, Robin. And don't feel bad that I already had it. I mean, you know, I don't have that much stuff, but I do happen to have this one. So, anyway, it's a great pattern. I am going to do this in a giveaway. Maybe I will give this one away, and maybe this and Gathering Honey at the end of June when I hit my 1-year FlossTube anniversary. So yeah, so stay tuned. So one of you guys is gonna get this gorgeous thing, and then again, because I have it, maybe we can sell it. So oh, hold on, let me put that in there. So okay, so that is basically it. I don't know how much time I've been on here because I've got one of those calendar pop-ups that came up on my screen and I can't touch it because it'll turn my video off. But I think the last thing that we are gonna do today is my last Mania giveaway. Is the Lizzie Kate Love My Cat and the Jabico button that goes with it. So, I have my Chromebook out here, and turned off. There we go. Okay, so let's see. I already put in the last week's video, and I put in the text code or whatever cat that you guys had entered, and start when it's flashing. The winner is Cat Crazy Creations. I watch you. She said, enjoyed watching your video. Love your curls. Thank you. Everybody made comments on my curls last week. They were so fun, and I will probably do that again sometime in the near future. She said, you've made some really good progress on your whips. Can't wait to see Winnie the Pooh come to life. I love cats and adopted a kitten almost a year ago. Would love to stitch the cat. I'm going to be celebrating 11 years on YouTube in July. Wow. I've enjoyed it so much and have made a lot of friends along the way. So Cat Crazy Creations, I think your real name is Sonia. If it isn't, then I'm sorry, but that's what I have in my head. Anyway, so contact me. I will put a message on last week's video. But yeah, message me to give me your address. Either you can send me your mailing address through my email, or you can instant message me or personal message me on Instagram. Either way, and I will pop that in the mail to you next week. So I think that's pretty much it for what I have to share with you guys today. I'm thinking that it's been a shorter video, but again, I don't know because I can't see it on my phone. But you know, we have to just go with the flow sometimes with life, and if you don't feel like stitching, or if you don't have the time or the energy, that's okay. It'll be there for when you have that energy again. Plans for June. Plans for today, to be honest, I'm going to try and take it a little bit easy. I have a few chores I need to get accomplished today. You know, regular putting clean clothes away and getting the dishes done, that kind of stuff. But other than that, I really am going to take it easy today. I didn't sleep well on Friday night, and I was up really late last night, so I need probably a nap this afternoon. But plans for this coming week, I am going to really try and knock out that last little bit on Gathering Honey. That is definitely a priority. And then in June, I don't have any plans really to start anything new in June, although as I said, the end of June is my FlossTube 1-year anniversary, and I kind of would like to start something just to kind of commemorate that. So I have to look through what I have and see what project I have that would kind of fit the bill. I'm thinking maybe the tribal elephant from White Willow Stitching. I did the cat pillow for my mom, and I don't know if I ever gave you guys an update on that, but the pillow did show up. I said a while ago that it was missing, and it was for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then it turned out I'd probably been set aside on my mom's in a 3-person room, but the middle bed is usually empty. So I think they probably set her pillows and stuff on that middle bed while they were making her bed, and it got like under the mattress. So at one point they lifted that middle bed, they were doing something, and there was her pillow. So it did show up, thank goodness. But anyway, I made the cat for my mom, and at the same time that I got the cat, I bought the pattern for the elephant because I collect elephants, and I just have never done it. So maybe that one will be a good 1-year anniversary, because it kind of is full circle, because that was one of the first projects I was working on in my first video for my mom, was the cat, the tribal cat. So that might be a good thing to do, but I don't know. I have to look through and make a decision on that. Other than that, I don't have any plans to start anything new in June. I really want to continue to work and kind of whittle down my whips a little bit, because I definitely am starting 2 projects in August, maybe something in July. So yeah, so I want to, you know, I don't want to grow my whip list too much, as I've talked about before. So that's, you know, basic June plans. And I didn't work on diamond painting this past week, so I want to do a little bit more on that. Maybe film a few extra videos for you guys. Those are always fun. And yeah, and other than that, I'm just chugging along. Chugging along. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. Happy June 1st tomorrow. And please remember for the next week to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Karla. Bye, everybody.